Friends, welcome to another video here. In this video, I just wanted to do a quick trade recap just to kind of check in with you guys. So, let's just jump right into it. Sheesh. What we're going to go over is, as you can see, we had two trades here, but we're only going to go over the Amazon one because if I go over the other one, it's just going to end up being too long of a video. I'm probably going to have more chances of rambling, this, that, and the other. And the Amazon one was a much cleaner one, and I actually called it out in the chat room as well, so that's why that's the one that we'll go over. All of those ideas. So basically we had about a $1,200 profit using around 1,700, or I guess probably a better way to say it is using less than 1,750. We'll see how we title the video. But let's go over the orders first, and then we'll jump into it on the charts. I had a total of 30 contracts. I started in with 20. And then I added in an additional 10 shortly after it. So when we mark it up on the chart, it's just going to be right in the same area. Because basically I called it out in the chat room that I was looking for a dip to the 120. And as it was approaching the 120 area, it was going so fast because, well, obviously because that's just how it does in the morning. But because it was going so fast, that's why I wanted to just start in to make sure I don't miss the trade in case it does completely just bounce right off of where it was and go up. But I also wanted to leave enough room so that I can add in case it does give me a little closer to my 120 area. So that kind of explains that, and it'll make more sense once we get over to the chart there. But basically, I had, like I said, a total of 30 contracts. 20 of them were at 0.58, and the rest of the 10 were at 56, we'll say. Now, in case anybody is new here and not familiar with options, 1 is equivalent to 100. So if you see that it shows like 58 cents for 1, it's actually $58 for 1. So in total, so for example, if I only had 10, it would have been $580 would have been the cost of the trade. And when I say cost of the trade, remember, we're not just completely risking everything. I always like to use my used car example. If you go and buy a used car for like $2,000 and you hope to sell it for, $3,000-4,000, and somehow you find out the engine blew up or whatever, I don't know what, and you can take a loss. You can go, you're not going to just leave the car on the side of the road and say, all right, that's the end of it. So hopefully that, I just want to make sure I clarify that for anyone that's new. And basically in total, like I said, I had 20 at 58 and then 10 at 56. And if you do all the math there, it's a total of 1,720 was the cost of the trade in total. Then, probably like 5 minutes after, exactly the reason why I started in case it just completely reversed and flips on you, that's exactly what it did. It reversed and it flipped right away, and within 5 minutes, it had already gone up from like the 120 to the 121 area, and it did it so quickly that the premium on the options just like accelerated so much to where I was already at, almost a 50% return. If you do the math there from 58 to 81, that's a pretty big gap in terms of percentage. So I was like, okay, I got to take some profit here. So I sold half of it at the 81. Then I let the rest ride for about an hour or so. And then I sold the rest of the 15 for 114. So in total, I sold it for 2,925. And remember, the cost of the trade was 1,720. So that's how we got the profit. Just for anyone that wanted to see the math side of the things, you take what you sold it for, the 2,925, and you subtract what you bought it for, the cost of the trade, the 1,720, and that is 1,205. I know it shows 1,206 here, but that's because of this little one contract off by 1 cent here, $1 here. So don't get caught up on all that. That's basically how we did it. And if you really look at it from this perspective, it was like we doubled our money from the 58 to the 114. And that's pretty much it in terms of the number side. Let's hop over to the charts and we'll wrap it up from there. Let's just take note of the times. I really got in it right around the 634, 635 area. And then, like I said, 5 minutes later at 640, I sold half. And then at 8:17, I sold the rest of it. So let's go take a look at it on the charts here. So you can see here, I only put one arrow in terms of marking up, make it easier here, the entry, because like I said, it happened so fast and they were within a minute apart. It was dropping, and right around this 120.20 area is when I started in, just in case it completely ripped on me and reversed. And as it dropped a little more to the 120, that's when I added in an additional 10, and I still had a little more room to add in, but I kind of wanted to see what he did with that 120 area, and he didn't really give much time in terms of okay, he's just going to hold. He just kind of completely just shot right back up, And within a few minutes, he was already at the 121 area. And like I said, on my options, I was already at like a 50% return. So I was like, all right, I got to take some profit here, just like the disciplined trader within me, I guess, if you will. And I held the rest, which we sold right around the 817 area right here as it shot right back above the 122 area. I was really hoping it could give us 122.50, but I think because it already it popped above the 122, kind of rejected it and came below it. Once it shot through it again, I said, all right, let me just take it off right there. And that's where we sold the rest of it for the 114. And obviously, if I had still held it till the end of the day, I would have made more. Obviously, if I had got the top of it, I would have made a lot more, probably at least another $1,000 on that part of the trade. But like I say, on all my videos, like I say, but I always like to say, like, we don't worry about that. You stick to your plan. You don't get greedy, because you have to train yourself to not get all excited whenever it could have been more, or could have been this, or could have been that, because trading is here to stay. You're going to be trading for a while, so you have to be able to control your emotions, and that's the best way to do it, is by always telling yourself, like, look you know what, that's fine. I got my profit. I'm out. I don't really care. Because on the flip side, most traders will usually say, oh man, it could have been this, it could have been that. And then that's how you start building the bad habit and the bad mindset, I guess, if you will. So this is usually where I start rambling. So that's pretty much that, guys. You see how we turned, well, I don't know what we turned into what, but it was about a $1,200 profit using less than $17.50, I think. Yeah, $17.20. So that's pretty much it. If you guys do want to join our chat room or learn how to do this stuff, you know where to go, and we'll wrap it up here. Just comment below if you have any questions, subscribe, like. I always forget how to end these, but I'm getting a little better at it here. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.